Okay, so I got a couple of emails yesterday from some new subscribers. They had some pretty detailed information in them that I wanted to respond to in a more in-depth manner than I could have last night. Just so people are always looking for the hypocrisy in veganism. And one of the most popular things that comes up is the plant rights argument, which is basically that vegans are also predators. We eat plants. There's no difference between eating plants and eating animals, and therefore we're all on the same level. The only difference is that as humans, almost all humans, apart from some very specialized groups of people who have been environmentally isolated and have adapted to eat largely meat-based diets. But apart from them, most people would actually die if they stopped eating plants because of the vitamins and minerals found only in plants that we require. Conversely, it has been proven thousands and thousands of times through the people who live as vegetarians or as vegans that you do not need to eat meat to survive. Right? So there's the first thing. All creatures have the right to do whatever it takes to survive. Right? That's my belief anyway. You can't really measure that, but that is a belief that underpins a lot of vegan philosophies. Right? That we have the right to do what it takes to stay alive. We don't need to eat meat to stay alive, but we do need to eat plants. So therefore, it's a bit like, people might imagine that if a vegan watches a wildlife show, when the lion kills the antelope, that we will be judging the lion and going, oh, bad lion. But the lion doesn't have a choice. It doesn't have a choice. It has to eat meat or it will die. It's a cat. That is the biology of a cat. It needs to eat meat. It is a carnivore. It has a hard time processing vegetable matter. It does need some of that too. But the most convenient way for it to get it is to rip the stomach open and eat the contents of the antelope's stomach, right? Because it can't digest the plant matter properly if it hasn't already been partially digested, right? So, and I don't have a problem with predators in nature, with carnivorous animals. But we are humans, and we are not carnivorous animals. We're just not, okay? And the other thing is as well, if you're so concerned about plants, right, you have to think about this as well. Vegans actually consume the least amount of plants out of anyone, even though the only things we eat are plants. And how do we do this? Because it takes 13 pounds of grain or vegetable matter to create, for the animal to grow, 1 pound of meat. Okay? So when you eat your food, you're eating the vegetables that you can actually see on your plate, plus the meat you're eating, plus all of the vegetable matter that animal ate during its lifetime. When vegans eat, we're only eating the plants you can see on our plates. We are doing the least possible damage. So, I don't think that you can put vegans and omnivores on the same playing field by referring to plants or by talking about other animals being carnivorous. We're not carnivorous creatures. And this comes down to also ridiculous arguments like the tooth argument that we have canines. We are omnivores. We are specialized to be able to eat whatever we need to eat to survive, right? So we have as many options open to us biologically as possible. So it is possible for us to eat some meat and be healthy, right? And we do have tearing teeth. But, my teeth are horrible just as a person, but I'm a human being, so we use me as an example. Compare my canine to a dog or a cat. It's petty. It's tiny. It's not very similar to theirs. It's just been called that because it bears a passing resemblance. I also received another comment about the cycle of life and, if there weren't predator animals, then there'd be an imbalance and all things like that. I agree. If there weren't predator animals, there would be an imbalance. But the other thing is as well that unlike other animals that eat meat, we don't remain part of that food chain. A lion or a tiger or a dog, like a wolf in the wild, will pick off the easy prey, which is usually a baby or an injured animal or an old animal. This serves a purpose to the group of herbivores that are being preyed upon. It makes them fitter and stronger and faster. Humans are not like this. This is not the kind of, humans are either completely random, like fishing, right? It's pretty random. Whichever fish grabs the hook is the one that you catch. Or there's also, people who go deer hunting. They're not looking for the crippled deer, that has a disease. They're looking for the big, strong buck in the prime of his life, who's needed by the herd to keep the next generation going. That's the one they want. That disrupts the cycle of life. It doesn't contribute to it. Another argument as well is that people, sort of employ a kind of what they think is a pagan philosophy, right? Like, but then I pray over the animal that I kill, and I think it's all so holy and spiritual. You are looking at this from a very human-centric, human-chauvinistic perspective, okay? And this is, veganism is about removing yourself from that and having compassion for others who look different than yourself, seeing things from their perspective. So I would like you to engage in this thought experiment with me. There are a bunch of people and they are killing you, right? While they kill you, they're murmuring some words. Do you care? Or are you just terrified and want to live? Do you care? You wouldn't. I don't care what you say, you wouldn't care. If someone else was killing you and their justification, the way they felt better about it was that they were saying a prayer over you, you wouldn't care. In fact, I think it makes it a bit more demented, really. It's all about them. It's not about the animal that they're killing. It's about them justifying it and making it fit into their view of the world. Another thing that came up was the concept of sin. Now, this concept's a bit irrelevant to me because I'm not thinking about this on a what God thinks level. I'm thinking about this on the what the animal thinks and feels level. I'm just thinking about your effect on others. I'm not thinking about moral judgments. I don't think that people who eat meat are bad people. Very few of us were born vegan. There are a few, and there will be more and more as things go on. But I'm not sitting here passing judgments from, like on Vegan Freaks Radio, high atop our throne of elitism, It's not about that at all. It's not about that. It's not a competition. It's not about who's better than whoever else. It's just people trying to wake other people up to the fact that what is going on is wrong. And it doesn't matter whether you are hunting your own animals, things like that. I mean, yes, those animals got to be free. That's good. But they still want to live. They're just running around having their own lives just like you are. They don't offer themselves up to you. Say, I am a sacrifice. Please kill me and eat me. It's not how it works. And look, veganism there's no loopholes in it. There's no loopholes in it. There's no hypocrisy in it. Believe me, I looked for it before I went vegan myself. There aren't any. It is a well thought out philosophy. It is a well thought out lifestyle, embraced by many intelligent people. It's not a thing that silly hippies do who have no brains.